Okay, last one. You're a mean one. Get it? You don't get the iPhone now. You laugh. Yo, Grinch, try not to laugh challenge. If you don't laugh, I will give you this new iPhone. Deal? Laugh if you hate Christmas. What? I thought that was gonna get you, but laugh if you want $100. $100? Okay, last one. You're a mean one. Get it? You don't get the iPhone now. You laugh. Yo, Grinch, try not to laugh challenge. If you don't laugh, I will give you this new iPhone. Deal? Laugh if you hate Christmas. What? I thought that was gonna get you, but laugh if you want $100. $100? Okay, last one. You're a mean one. Get it? You don't get the iPhone now. You laugh. Yo, Grinch, try not to laugh challenge. If you don't laugh, I will give you this new iPhone. Deal? Laugh if you hate Christmas. What?
Hey Siri, take me to YouTube app.
penalty is enforced in 32 states in America, and capital offenses include things such as treason, espionage, and death resulting from aircraft hijacking. However, committing murder is by far the most common reason that people find themselves on death row. Over the years, execution methods have included everything from hanging to firing squad and even a gas chamber. But today, all 32 states that have a death penalty use lethal injection, as it's considered the most humane way to end a person's life. Let's find out. In this episode of the infographic show, how does lethal injection work? There have been 1,472 executions in America since 1976. Of those executions, 3 were by firing squad, 3 by hanging, 11 by gas chamber, 158 by electrocution, and 1,297 by lethal injection. Lethal injection is the practice of injecting one or more drugs into a person to cause them to die immediately. It was first developed in the United States and is now a preferred method of execution in China, Thailand, Guatemala, Taiwan, the Maldives, and Vietnam. Once the person's heart stops, death is pronounced. In most cases, this takes around 7 minutes, although if there are complications, it can sometimes take longer. So what's actually injected into a person to bring on cardiac arrest? According to the Death Penalty Information Center in Washington, D.C., the process for lethal injection in most states involves injecting 3 separate shots, all of which are delivered via intravenous drips. The first injection is an anesthetic called sodium thiopental, a strong barbiturate used to send a person into a deep unconscious state so pain cannot be felt. The drug affects a number of neurotransmitters, causing brain activity to be depressed and blocking the actions of brain receptors, therefore causing a dormant, non-reactive state, typically within 30 seconds. This anesthetic is intended to last throughout the lethal injection process, so when the following injections are administered, the person is completely unaware. The tubes used to administer the drugs are flushed clean with saline, and then the second injection, this time of pancuronium bromide.
Hey, I'm Jasmine, and I have the strictest parents in the world. Whenever I got less than an A, I was severely punished. Weekends were the worst. They'd make me sit and study for 15 hours straight. My back often hurt from sitting for so long, but my parents wanted me to get top grades, so I could go to an Ivy League university someday. When I got my 9th grade report card, I had an A+ in every single subject. My parents were very proud, so I asked them if I could take a break from studying and meet with some of my friends. I thought I had earned a reward, but my dad said, no, you first have to finish high school and then graduate university. Afterward, you can have fun. But I was sick of being the obedient daughter and snuck out through my window to watch a movie at my friend Allison's house. It was great to go out for once, especially because Allison's brother, Conan, was there too. He was really cute, and I ended up talking to him for hours. Before I left to go home, he gave me his number. After that, I couldn't stop thinking about him. We met in secret a couple times each week, and we had so much fun. One day, he even snuck into my room, and that's when it happened. We went all the way, and unfortunately, our protection broke. I wasn't worried though, because I went to the pharmacy and bought the morning after pill. I thought I'd be okay. But then 3 months later, I missed my period and took a pregnancy test that came out positive. I was so scared. I didn't know how my parents would react if they knew their teen daughter was going to be a mom. So I didn't tell them. Instead, I started eating more food to gain weight, so they wouldn't notice my belly growing. I'd always been a bit chubby, but now I was getting seriously overweight. My parents called me fat and like 10 times better than my dad, and seriously overweight. My parents called me fat and lazy, and even Conan told me I should lose weight, or he'd stop seeing me. It was horrible, but still 10 times better than my dad knowing I was pregnant. I didn't even tell Conan about the baby until my water broke during chemistry class. I took an Uber to the hospital and called him from there. He came immediately, and I apologized for not telling him earlier. Conan was very understanding, so I asked him to call my parents and tell them about the baby. I was so nervous when he said, "Hey, I'm Conan, and I'm your daughter's boyfriend. She's at the hospital and just about to have a baby. She really needs you for your support." I'd never been more frightened. It took 2 hours for my parents to come, and when they walked into the delivery room, my dad was carrying 2 suitcases. He screamed at me, "You've brought shame onto our family. You are a disgrace." I was sobbing my eyes out, but Dad put his face up close to mine and hissed, "Don't ever come back to our house. We don't ever want to see you again." I thought Mom would support me, but she just left with my dad. I was devastated, but Conan hugged me and said I shouldn't worry. I could come live with him. We called our daughter Olivia. She was so cute, and we moved into Conan's home. I hoped we'd be a happy family, but it was impossible. His mother seriously resented me and Olivia. She said I destroyed her son's future. I did my best to ignore her, but whenever she screamed at me, Olivia started crying and it broke my heart. I spent most of the time taking Olivia to the park so I could avoid Conan's mom. It wasn't... When I was 18, my dad pressured me to marry Douglas, the son of a rich mafia boss who had a reputation for being cruel and reckless. Of course, I didn't want to marry him. He was a fat, ugly monster. But my family was desperately poor and used me as their ticket into a more comfortable life. But while on the altar, I started to feel itchy and said, "I'm not feeling well." Douglas responded, "It's too late to run away now. You're mine." But the dizziness turned into pain, and then I blacked out. When I woke up again, I was inside a hospital and my whole body was covered in rashes. The doctor said, "Don't worry, you're fine. But you've developed a rare skin condition called solar urticaria, or sun allergy. Whenever sunlight hits your skin, you will get rashes, feel dizzy, or worse." I thought he was kidding. How can someone be allergic to the sun? But Douglas got angry and screamed, "I don't care if she has an allergy. She's going to marry me today." Then he pulled me by my arm out of the hospital and drove us back to our wedding. Most people had already left, but the pastor was still there, and after he wed us, Douglas forcefully grabbed my wrist, pulled me towards him, and kissed me. It was absolutely disgusting. His breath smelled terrible, and then he said, "Now that you, pretty girl, are mine, it's time for..." I won't go into the details, but he loved humiliating me. It was so bad, I couldn't fall asleep afterward. The idea of living with this monster for the rest of my life made me cry. He only saw me as an object. My job was to wear lingerie and to pleasure him. And of course, he did with me whatever he wanted, no matter how much it hurt. Life seemed pointless until a musician moved into the small house next to ours. His name was Miguel, and he was incredibly handsome. We often talked over the fence, and he always listened when I told him about my cruel husband. But one time, I went over to his house and sat down next to him on the couch. At first we were just flirting with each other, but then he put his hand on my leg. I knew where this was going, and I liked it. Then he pushed me back, took his shirt off, and showed me his muscular body. Wow, I had never been more aroused. He went on top of me, put his hands around my throat, and pushed me deeper into the couch. I knew he had complete power over me, but I wasn't scared. This was what I had always wanted. A guy who was both gentle and rough. Our affair went on for months, with Miguel often coming over to my house to see me. But one time, while we were making out, my husband got home early. Miguel decided to hide under the bed, and when my husband came into the room, he said, "There's my pretty little girl. Oh, we're gonna have some fun today." He put his sausage hands on my body and kissed me. It was as disgusting as always. But I was already... Next, he put a small mirror into the window and reflected the afternoon sun onto our bed. He always did that, because he loved seeing the pain in my face while the sun burned a rash into my chest. At one point, I screamed out of pain, and that's when Miguel had enough. He came up from under the bed, pulled my husband by his hair, and smashed him to the ground. Then Miguel tied him up with a rope. It was the same rope my husband had often used to tie my hands and feet to the bed. Miguel said, "I'm sorry, but I can't let that pig treat you like that. You are such a beautiful girl, and you deserve better than him." I responded, "But he is my husband, and now he's gonna punish me worse than ever before." Miguel said, "Don't worry, let's just run away together." Well, I had no other option. So we took the train to New Orleans and started all over. It wasn't a luxurious life, but I was happy. Because whenever Miguel came home from work, he'd pull me out of the kitchen and toss me onto the bed. Get on top of me, he'd kiss me, he'd bite me, and yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted to ache, I wanted to suffer. Myself. Maybe those were the best times of my life. Miguel and I even decided to get married and have a kid. But right now...
Bro! Oh my god. Why does it always... I never shoot, dude. Oh, the fucking great hat. Siri, take me to YouTube, the app.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Hi, my name is Colin. I'm 29. Do you love drinking soda? I do. But just take a look at where this love led me. I am missing 2 fingers, and all because of Coca-Cola. I dreamed of becoming a surgeon, but because of my non-functioning hand, I will never get to operate. Well, it all started very innocently. It all started when I went to medical school. The work there was crazy. Every morning, I drank a cup of strong coffee. But throughout the day, I needed more caffeine. So, I began drinking Coca-Cola. Because of my fatness, I was leading in my 40s. I studied well, had time for everything, memorized everything well. By that time, I couldn't drink anything but Coca-Cola. I got tired of going to the store to get some, so I wanted to get a vending machine with Coca-Cola in our cafeteria. But of course, I needed approval. I was really appreciated by the best cardiac surgeon in the clinic, Dr. Oathill. I proved myself excellently, and one time he invited me to assist him. I was the first person in the program to go so far ahead. The surgery went spectacularly. I already saw a rapid rise in my career. After a tough shift, Dr. Oathill invited me to a bar, where doctors often relax after work. I took Daisy along with me, but she was angry that even there I drank Coca-Cola instead of cocktails. I started assisting Dr. Oathill ever more often, and the stress increased. Of course, surgeons work a lot less than 80 hours per week, but the responsibility is totally on them. How do they get rid of stress? I learned about it soon after, when I caught Dr. Oathill in the back with some girl. In full swing, well, you got it. I didn't see her face, only how he bent over her. Of course, I left immediately and told nobody. But later I hinted to my mentor that I wanted a vending machine with Coca-Cola in the cafeteria. Everyone deals with stress as they could, right? And already on the very next day, a vending machine stood there. As a result, I started drinking even more Coca-Cola. And that was the beginning of the end. One day, Dr. Oathill entrusted Daisy and I to conduct a simple but lengthy surgery. I prepared all night and didn't sleep. I thought Coca-Cola would help wake me up. But obviously, its effect weakened. During the surgery, I was sleepy like a sloth. I made a mistake, because of which we almost lost the patient. Daisy saved him, but under the close guidance of experienced doctors, of course. When it was over, Daisy was in a total rage. She was scared her career would be threatened. She began accusing me, saying that for me, Coca-Cola is whiskey for an alcoholic, and that I resemble a pig. She also said that I can't be compared with Dr. Oathill, that maybe she fell in love with him or something of the sort. So, she ended up dumping me. I awaited a difficult conversation with Dr. Oathill regarding my mistake. Guess how I decided to combat my nervousness regarding the matter. I went to the vending machine with the Coca-Cola. In these minutes, I did realize that I remind myself of an addict. I know that it's bad for me, but I go regardless. If I were to stop then, it was too late. No one was in the cafeteria. I went up to the vending machine to get me some more cola. But then, there was an explosion. Terrible pain in my hand with which I wanted to grab my bottle of soda. I was half conscious and understand that I was being taken to surgery right away. When I woke up later, I was terrified. It ends up the carbon dioxide tank in the Coca-Cola vending machine blew up. In result, I lost 2 fingers on my right hand. Of course, the doctors have tried saving them, but they were unsuccessful. As well, my body was weakened, dehydrated. I had problems with my metabolism and a lack of vitamins. I spent a long time recovering. I took antibiotics, I had IVs, and had to drink lots of water. Eventually, I got better and left the hospital. In one swoop, I lost my health, girlfriend, and a career as a successful surgeon because of Coca-Cola. You think I at least stopped drinking cola now? I try avoiding it now, really. But my body became so accustomed to it that I can't imagine how a person can drink tea, water, or milk. This is why, as soon as I left the hospital, I immediately bought myself a can in the nearest supermarket. Please, advise me how to get rid of this addiction. Do you have bad habits? When you know it is bad for you, do you still do it regardless? Write in the comments. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel.
couldn't do anything. You just kept spamming me, dude. Hey Siri, take me to YouTube app.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
On board. What's on board? State Farm is chatting. Every good action you Google. On the board.
See who wins at neighborhoodofgood.com. The Ranger SUV is perfect for any adventure. You can be in your element, in any element. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Have you ever looked at those two holes at the bottom of your sneakers and asked,
What are these for?
lifestyle expert Justine Santinello has the answer.
Most people think that these are here to ventilate the foot, and they do that, but they're really there to give you that nice, tight fit on your foot.
Justine showed Tracy Whalen and her daughter Callie how to lace up the shoes for a tight fit.
Cool.
And little Charlie is wondering about the pom-pom at the top of his hat.
What's the pom-pom for? Sailors used to wear these hats, and they put these pom-poms on there so that when the sailors were out at sea and the waters were rough, that they wouldn't bash their heads. So it gave them that little extra protection, just by putting this little pom-pom on their head. Did not know that.
And those flaps on the side of your kid's juice box? What the heck are those for?
Hold your juice box from the flap like this instead of squeezing. If you hold them from here,
Next, pasta spoons and that hole.
Hello.
this hole actually is to measure out a single portion of spaghetti. So basically what you do is you take your fried spaghetti and then put it into the hole like this. And when you have that hole filled up, you know that you have one portion size. Have you ever seen some of the items in your house? This little triangle that has a number inside it?
What's
Okay, so this has a meaning. There are lots of different numbers. They use numbers 1 through 7 within these triangles. So you want to make sure that if you're storing food and beverages, that the number inside of the triangle is either 1, 2, or 4. Those are completely safe to store food and beverages. The others are safe, but you probably don't want to store your food in there. Right?
Here's another tiny symbol commonly found on shampoo, lotion, and makeup.
You see that? It says 12M. So from when you open the product, this is how long it's going to last for. So 12 months, a year. So this one says 24M, 2 years.
Tiny hands move fast to quickly get their hands on medicine bottles.
These childproof caps are a real lifesaver. But if for any reason that you ever want to unchildproof this and make it easier for you, all you have to do is take the cap off. And you'll see that it actually has grooves and indentation. So you can actually turn this upside down, pop it in there, and now it's easier for you to close and to open. Oh, perfect.
Now it's off to the grocery store. Have you ever wondered why your bread has different colored tags?
Supermarkets get
There's no prompts? Are you fucking
fresh bread
lying?
5 days out of the week. Now the color of this tag will tell you what day of the week the bread was delivered, and it goes in alphabetical order. So there are blue tags, green, red, white, yellow.
A blue tag means the bread was delivered on Monday. A yellow tag on Friday. Now you know.
Celebrity chef and author Rocco DiSpirito loves lobster.
The iconic American dish should be an all lobster.
You think what he's saying should be obvious. You order lobster, you get lobster, right? Not always. We tried out lobster dishes of every conceivable kind at 28 restaurants around the country. It may shock you to learn that in 35% of our samples, instead of
How do you get a
lobster, we
protein?
found cheap fish substitutes. At Red Lobster, the largest seafood chain in America, we tested the lobster bisque from 3 locations and scooped out the meat. Then we sent it off to a lab.
We do look at it carefully, but then the final answer is done by DNA analysis.
According to the lab, the lobster in one sample was actually Langostino. 2 others had a combination of Langostino and lobster. So what is Langostino? This is a Langostino, and it looks nothing like a lobster. As a matter of fact, it's more closely related to the hermit crab, and up about half as much as lobster does per pound. At the world-famous Nathan's in Coney Island, Brooklyn, the lobster salad sandwich we tested came back as this guy, whiting, a much cheaper fish that certainly doesn't look like lobster. Rocco DeSpirito says restaurants are under pressure to keep costs down, but that's still no excuse.
If you say seafood roll, it's okay that you put some of
You
this
would
in
call
there.
it seafood roll,
Exactly.
not lobster roll.
I would make the distinction, or you could say lobster and seafood roll. You don't want your customers to know.
I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition. At this restaurant called Get Hooked outside Tampa, the lobster in their lobster roll also came back as whiting.
Yes, people, I did not purposely rip the public off.
The owner says he makes his lobster rolls with a frozen mixture called Lobster Sensations that he buys from an outside vendor. It has lobster, but it's also filled with other cheaper fish, like whiting and pollock. The issue is, on the menu, it doesn't say that there's any other fish except lobster in your lobster roll.
Okay, you want the example? Yes, you're absolutely right.
Manhattan's Little Italy is the go-to neighborhood for great seafood, but we wondered what was in the lobster ravioli. At Sophia's, our lab found no lobster, just, are you ready for this? Cheese. Inside Edition. Hello? Guess he didn't want to talk to us about his lobster ravioli. And what about Soup Man? That's the place made famous in the Seinfeld Soup Nazi episode. It's supposed to have the best soup in New York City. Guess what? Our test showed that the lobster bisque was loaded with the real thing, lobster.
No soup for you.
We spoke to actor Larry Thomas, who played the so-called soup Nazi.
Our soup can only be the best if we have the right real ingredients.
He's got that right.
Are you kidding me? That is so good.
Nothing beats the real thing.
And Red Lobster told us their lobster bisque can contain meat from Maine lobster, Langostino lobster, or a combination of both. As for Nathan's, they told us the main ingredient in their lobster salad is in fact lobster, but that it does include a healthy mix of lobster, pollock, and whiting. Experts say DNA testing is the only way to know for sure if you're getting real lobster, but they say if your meal is priced too low, that could be a red flag. Priciest steak you can buy, but if your local restaurant is offering Kobe beef, then there's a good chance that that is not what they're selling. Turns out only 8 restaurants in the country are even authorized to sell Kobe beef. But when Lisa Guerrero checked, she found plenty of other places that have it on their menu.
Kobe beef, the best of the best.
It's considered the tastiest beef money can buy. Japanese Kobe beef. How much is a single steak? As much as this. You heard what?
Best steak I've ever had. Wow. That really does melt your mouth. That's amazing.
What sets this beef apart is the marbling. Now, fine restaurants everywhere are trying to jump on the craze for Kobe beef. Can you believe Kobe burgers and Kobe hot dogs? But how do you know if you order Kobe that you're getting the real deal? In most cases, you're not. In the entire United States, there are only 8 restaurants. 8 that sell certified Kobe beef, according to the Kobe Beef Association. This upscale restaurant on Long Island isn't one of them. They sell a Kobe hot dog for, get this, $17.
This is a Kobe beef hot dog?
Yes.
The manager there didn't want to talk to me. I just wanted to know if you were serving real Kobe beef in your Kobe beef hot dog. At the Wynn Hotel's SW Steakhouse in Las Vegas, the Kobe beef they sell is the real deal. Chef David Waltzog.
When guests are out there buying things that are absolutely exclusive and expensive, then there needs to be a little truth in it.
Don't you think it's misleading customers?
It's misleading.
What makes Kobe beef so expensive? It comes from the Kyoto region of Japan, where purebred Kobe cattle are raised with a special diet. Their life here is, well, splendid. The cattle are so pampered they get rub-downs and even have cooling fans to remain comfortable. Only 400 pounds per month. Get shipped to the United States, says Kobe beef distributor Brent Nakama. This is beef gold.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Le Bernardin here in New York City is one of the finest restaurants in the world. You'd think the Kobe beef would be authentic. Just look at this small Kobe beef portion that I ordered for $110. Later, I asked the manager to see their Kobe beef certification.
I am sure we have the certification, absolutely.
Can we see it?
I'm sure we can.
Do you want to go back there and bring it out and show us?
Absolutely.
He never came back. The owner called later to say that they made a mistake and immediately changed the menu from Kobe beef to Japanese Wagyu, which is a less expensive Japanese beef. And at one of the great steakhouses in New York City, Old Homestead, Kobe is listed on the menu from $175 to $350, depending on the size. But once again, this is not authentic Kobe beef, according to the Kobe Beef Association. I spoke with the owner, Mark Sherry.
Why are you calling to documenting Kobe when it's not Kobe beef?
Well, it's you getting hung up on what the name is.
No,
I'd
I'm
like
not
to
getting
have
hung up
Kobe
on
beef
it.
or
It's
Japanese
either
Wagyu.
Kobe beef or it's
We
not
have
Kobe
the
beef.
finest Japanese beef that money can buy.
Aren't you misleading your customers?
No, absolutely
I agree.
not.
Well, if you'd like to see just where those 8 restaurants that are authorized by the Kobe Beef Association are located, come to our website, InsideEdition.com.
At this ice cream store in New York City, owner Jason Liu says one secret for great tasting soft serve ice cream is making sure the equipment is always clean and sanitized. But other places may not always be as spotless. Check out these pictures of a McDonald's ice cream drip tray taken in Louisiana. It's covered with slimy film.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, I've never seen something this disgusting.
This guy used to work at McDonald's, but said he got canned after posting photos online.
I asked my manager, I said, when's the last time y'all cleaned this? And she said, hurry up and bring it to the back before a customer sees it.
Well, we wanted to know just how sanitary is your soft serve ice cream and yogurt. So we did some testing. We took samples from 40 places in the Seattle area, from fast food chains to independent shops, and then had them tested for bacteria. 9 out of 40 samples had elevated levels of coliform, a critical indicator of an unsanitary condition, which by itself does not necessarily cause illness.
As a consumer, I would expect that my ice cream to be coliform-free. It would certainly be an indication to the restaurant that they ought to investigate the sanitary procedures.
Hi, I'm Lisa Guerrero with your Medicine. We returned to Trove, a restaurant where we had ordered an ice cream dessert called Razzmatazz. It showed a bacteria count of a whopping 28 million. I spoke to the manager.
We tested a custard that you guys have called Razzmatazz, and we found high levels of bacteria that show unsanitary conditions. Can you explain why that might be?
No comment on that right now. I'm not entirely sure.
Let me ask you a question you'll know. So, how often do you clean your machine?
Every day.
Next up, Menchie's, a popular self-serve yogurt shop where we found elevated levels of coliform.
We ordered what's called a Reese's yogurt. We had it tested, and we found bacteria that could indicate unsanitary conditions. Can you explain why that might be?
I cannot. I would have to investigate.
The owner was so concerned, he invited me inside to show that his machines are cleaned and sanitized regularly. He also gets my marks from the local health department.
Every machine here is labeled, so this machine gets completely disassembled and cleaned on Mondays and Thursdays. This one's Monday and Fridays.
So keep enjoying those treats, but you may want to ask how often the machines are cleaned.
Regarding that dirty dip tray, McDonald's
So
says it's
trash.
committed to providing customers high-quality food, service, and a clean environment. And they say that tray is designed to collect leaks and is required to be cleaned regularly, adding it doesn't come into contact with the ice cream. They also point out that that restaurant has a history of passing health inspections.
Unreasonable. It's how you have to be if you want to change things. UNICEF, we are 13,000 strong, and we won't stop.
The American Heart Association recommends everyone eat fish at least twice a week. But how do you know the fish you're ordering at the restaurant is the fish you're getting? Truth is you don't. And as Lisa Guerrero discovered on our Inside Edition Fish Test, you just might not be getting what you're paying for. Americans love fish.
I love fish. Fish is my favorite meal.
When I look at the menu, seafood is like my go-to. It's my first choice.
But Inside Edition found you could be the victim of a fish switcheroo. How is it possible for one type of fish to be switched to another type of fish? Alexandra Papetis is the executive chef at Kalari Taverna in New York City and says it can easily happen in some restaurants.
It's really people just capitalizing on people not really having a full knowledge base about fish. You know, even though these look very different right now when they're sitting here, they're not going to look as different once we cook them.
So would we be a victim of a fish switch? To find out, we did some testing. First, we visited 22 restaurants in Tampa and Atlanta and ordered cod, grouper, and catfish.
Scooping out the crunchy grouper.
We then packed the fish up and sent samples off to a lab for DNA testing. Now get this, 33% of the restaurants in Atlanta gave us a cheaper fish than the one we ordered. At Noodles restaurants, we ordered fried grouper, always a favorite. But what we really got, according to the lab, was an Asian farmed fish called swai. Grouper goes for $20 a pound, while swai costs about $3 a pound. So what the heck is swai? Swai comes mainly from Vietnam, specifically the Mekong Delta, not the cleanest water in the world. This video also shows swai farmed in overcrowded fish ponds. In a statement to Inside Edition, a fish industry spokesman insists the fish are some of the safest seafood you can eat, and it's a healthy, affordable fish, period. We went back to Noodles, the place where we got the cheap swai instead of grouper.
We found out that instead of grouper, it was actually a cheaper farmed fish from Asia. How can you explain that? Guess you didn't want to tell? At Pascal's restaurant, we ordered catfish, but according to the lab, once again, we got swai. How do you think that happened?
I had no idea. I apologize. I had no idea. I had to find out how that happened.
At Copeland's, it was the same story.
Are you substituting a cheaper fish for your catfish here?
I guess I can't comment on it. I'll have to go with my marketing department, my general manager.
Larry Olmstead, author of Real Food, Fake Food, says food substitutions is a dirty secret in the restaurant industry.
Anytime you have a food that consumers can't readily identify with their eye, that you can substitute something cheaper for and get away with it, people are going to do that.
All 10 of the restaurants we visited in Tampa gave us the fish we ordered.
Who shot James St. Patrick? We have several suspects, but only one person called the trigger. Only it was you.
Should I follow? I don't even know if he's okay. All this stuff. I don't know. My family wants to know if my dad is alive or not.
Someone shot Jamie? Good. He deserves to pay for what he did to Lita. I've got nothing to confess. I confess. James and I had problems in our marriage. We lost our daughter, Raina. I just can't imagine what our lives would look like without him.
Like, he needs to go, alright? I ain't got a reason to shoot him if I'm helping him. I guess I'll go back to being a civilian. How you figure this out? I'm running to be New York's first elected black governor. Why would I shoot him? Did you know something I don't know? Let me spell it out. Ghost is a drug kingpin. With a long list of entities, any one of them could have shot. I was this close to putting him away for life. If I had, none of this would have happened. Okay, that sounds like a confession, but it's not. If you knew anything, you know by now. I ain't no snitch. So me talking is the best you got to figure it out. You shot Ghost. You ought to know. I did not shoot James St. Patrick.
If you know anything about the shooting of James St. Patrick, please call 1-833-COOL-SHOT.
These are our standard lamb chops.
But Chef Alexander Papetsis of Polari Taverna in New York City has a warning. The wool is being pulled over your eyes more than you think.
Everybody kind of knows what a lamb chop is going to look like. But, you know, if you're going, let's say, to somewhere where they're serving gyros or, you know, lamb and rice or kind of those dishes where it's more shredded lamb, it's much easier to mask thick lamb. It's easier to make using goat as a substitute.
You heard right. You might be eating goat.
So we wanted to know, if you order lamb, are you really getting lamb? To find out, we did some testing.
We ordered lamb at 39 restaurants in Los Angeles and New York City, from tourist hotspots to popular food trucks. The samples were packed up and sent to a lab for DNA testing. The results were startling and disturbing. 23% of the so-called lamb we ordered wasn't lamb at all.
So what was it? It was goat, chicken, and beef, all much cheaper than lamb. So I went back to those places where we ordered the lamb to find out what was going on.
It's much more than what I expected. You get 23% of the time, you know. You order lamb and you get goat, for example. And that's not acceptable.
At this food truck in Manhattan, this is what we were served. It sure looks like lamb. Turns out there wasn't a speck of lamb in the dish. It's a grounded combo of chicken and beef.
No lamb was in your lamb platter. Can you explain why?
Maybe you guys got a combo platter? I'm not sure, guys.
We got lamb over rice, just like what you gave me just now.
Maybe it was a mistake?
You're not trying to pull a lamb scam.
No, we're not. We could have just messed up on your order.
Okay.
And at this trendy spot in Manhattan,
Can I have a serving of the lamb meatballs?
100% lamb meatballs were on the menu. Tests showed beef was mixed in.
I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition. I just ordered the lamb meatballs from you.
Yes. Hi.
So we ordered lamb meatballs a couple weeks ago, and we had them tested, and it ends up that it's lamb and beef, not just lamb.
No, you just said lamb. 100% lamb.
No, because we actually had your meatballs tested, and there was also beef in the meatballs. So can you explain why?
There is no beef in it.
There was. We sent them to a lab.
You did? Well, I didn't know about that.
One tip from food expert Larry Olmstead is if you see lamb that looks like this, it's not always what you think.
So one of the biggest rules of the food fraud industry is the less recognizable it is to your eye, the more likely you are to be cheated.
Kind that makes you want to scream. Americans are obsessed with sushi.
I love sushi. Hey, you know all the time.
The delicacy can be very expensive, as much as $200 per person for a meal at top sushi restaurants. But how do you know when you order sushi that you're getting what you paid for and not a cheaper substitute? To find out, we went out for some sushi, visiting 25 restaurants in New York City and Los Angeles, from famous celebrity restaurants like Nobu, New York City, to local neighborhood hotspots.
Okay, let's get straight to this. The red snapper.
Then we wrapped up the fish and shipped it off to a lab for some DNA testing. Now the troubling findings. 68% of the samples turned out to be a different fish than we ordered, usually a cheaper variety. In New York City, every time we ordered white tuna, we got something entirely different, usually a fish called escolar, sometimes referred to as the X-lax fish, because it can be hard to digest and cause intestinal problems. Escolar is banned in Japan and Italy. It happened at Ariyoshi Restaurant in New York City. We ordered white tuna, but we were given escolar, which could cause serious digestive problems. Why would you switch one kind of fish for another kind of fish?
Switch? No, we didn't.
To prove it, we found a shipping order, but sure enough, when my producer and I took a look, we saw escolar. This is escolar. Yeah. Can you just explain to us, please, what's on there? Because I saw escolar on that. It says escolar.
I'm sorry, I don't know that.
In Los Angeles, we experienced the same switcheroo at Starfish Sushi. One switched the fish.
Can you hold on a second?
He never came back, but later denied the fish switch. Tamara Freudman, a registered dietitian, says she's seen patients patients who have gotten sick after eating escolar.
It's pretty awful. There's diarrhea, there's cramping. Some patients will also have some nausea and vomiting, headaches, and it can last a day and a half, sometimes 2 days.
And what about the red snapper we ordered? 60% of the time, the sushi restaurants made substitutions, mainly with tilapia, a much cheaper farmed fish.
I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition. Recently, we ordered red snapper from you, but what we really got was tilapia.
Maybe this clip will help her recall what happened.
What is that?
Later, she called to apologize and said we could have a refund. As for world-famous Nobu, the fish we ordered was the fish we received. So, what should sushi lovers do?
Don't avoid sushi. Just make sure to order something like salmon, some shrimp dishes, things that are a little bit harder to find.
There's nothing like Parmesan cheese to top off a delicious pasta dinner.
I love fresh Parmesan cheese on my pasta. Parmesan cheese on everything, but real Parmesan cheese.
This is the real deal. Parmesan cheese grated right in front of you. But what about the grated Parmesan cheese you buy at the local supermarket? You'd expect it's 100% cheese, right? Well, not so fast. Freshly grated Parmesan tends to clump up and stick together like this. So it turns out that many manufacturers
Oh my fucking god, dude.
cellulose to keep Parmesan cheese from clumping up in a jar. It's supposed to make it a breeze to sprinkle on your food. So what is cellulose? It's a harmless additive. While a small amount of cellulose in grated Parmesan cheese may be necessary, it's cheap filler. So we wondered, is too much cellulose being slipped into your cheese without you knowing? We did some testing to find out. We bought 34 samples from major supermarkets as well as from major restaurant chains like Pizza Hut and Domino's. Then we sent the cheese off to IEH Labs.